the reason I bring that up is since we do have so many people, whether international or outside Florida or South Florida, they're still investing here in South Florida. So what we've decided is throughout the year, we're going to do 4 in-person meetings. We're going to do them quarterly, and the other ones will be online. And we will have some special events that, we might have some national speakers come in that will, they might do a Saturday event. So we really want to make it a hybrid kind of meeting and maximize for everybody. I know the other problem also in South Florida, I mean, I love living here, is my favorite, the traffic. I know our reach is pretty crazy from Port St. Lucie all the way down to Homestead. If you're trying to make it on a Wednesday for a 5:30 meeting, I know it's difficult trying to get out of work. So that's one of the challenges out there. So we still want to give you good information. Our meetings, our webinars will be recorded and they'll be on our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we do not tape our live meetings. It's a little bit too difficult. There's too many moving parts of what's happening. So those meetings you'll have to come in person, unfortunately. So I know someone actually asked me about that question. Some basic rules of the game. If you haven't been on a webinar since the pandemic, I don't know what the heck you've been doing. I feel like everyone's been on webinars, but I'm just messing with you. If you got questions, if you put it in the Q&A, it's going to be a lot easier for me to see it. If you put it in the chat, it just moves way too fast. And that's one of the challenges out there, is that if it moves too fast, we don't get to answer all your questions. Keep in mind, we have a lot of people on the webinar. So if it's a one-on-one, like personal question, we may bypass it. You could always email me to help you out, because we want to make sure it's educational for the group. So I think that's always important too. And I guess we could, kind of get started. So about 10 minutes after, let's get this thing going. My name's Anish, and I have my favorite people, which is Alexa and Alexa, not Harry Diamond, on this webinar. And that's really part of our team. Harry is sometimes part of our team. No, he's always part of our team. And I'll let them introduce themselves about today's Real Estate Investing Made Simple today. So.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. I'm Alexa, the manager. I'm going to let Alexa Marie take over because my voice is not sounding too great, but I'm still going to be here. And just go ahead, Alexa Marie, take it.
Alrighty, so I'm Alexa Marie, the event program coordinator, all sorts of jazz. I wear many hats, but today we're going to be talking about real estate investing made simple, brought to you by Anish and Harry, the mentors of our program. We are going to be giving away a boot camp ticket. So, a quick start seat. So some of you guys may have been familiar with our previous boot camp. We're now going to call it a quick start. So if you text in 954-800-6961, you get a chance to win a free quick start boot camp seat. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that now, but go ahead and put in that text to that number. Alexa also is going to put that in the chat as well, so you can refer back to that. We have a couple upcoming events. On Thursday, we have a free webinar by REI Blackbook called How to Build Your Dream Business. It's going to be at 11 a.m. 10 types of deals you can find is going to be actually by Rehab. That is going to be, sorry about those dates, folks. That's going to be at on January 19th. And then we're going to have a member benefits workshop on the 27th at 11 a.m. So people who want to know a little bit more about our membership, what has changed since 2021, if you want to become a member, how to make the most of your member benefits, you can come and join us on the 27th at 11 a.m. And we also have private lending made easy. We have tons of events that are coming up that I didn't even get a chance to fit on the slide. So we also have the 25th, that is a new event, and the 27th. If you look in the chat, you're going to see a link to our upcoming events page. Stay tuned because I'm posting things almost every day to that. We have tons of free events coming up. So I know a lot of you were able to come to our in-person event that was paid. We have tons of free events that you can enjoy from the comfort of your own home, in your office, on your drive. So definitely stay tuned to that. And if you don't get a chance to go to our website, you can always, text BPM RIA to that same number, 954-800-6961, to receive updates on our latest events. So you don't even actually have to do anything but open up your inbox when you get a message from us letting you know that there's an event coming up. So that's the only thing we will use that service for, is letting you know about upcoming events.
Yeah, and we want to make sure also you guys, for myself this year and with our team, I'm really committed about giving you a lot of education. So we are working with our local corporate vendors to do workshops for free. As you can imagine, some of you guys already know me. I'm a pretty good negotiator. I'm trying to make them give you free gifts, all the other things that you could ever imagine to really make it a win-win. We want to get these excuses out of the way on, hey, I don't know about this information. So you could also email me at some point if you say, hey, it'd be great if we had a topic on this. I'll try to find a partner that's an expert on that exact strategy you may or may want to learn. So
Awesome. Yep. So Alexa went ahead and put up a poll asking if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about our boot camp. Awesome. A lot of you guys responded. I can tell you a little bit more about that now, and we would love to have you. So if you're a member, I see a lot of members in the attendee list right now. You actually get a discount. So yours would be $525. If you're not a member, it'd be $595, and it's going to be on February 5th and 6th. We're going to teach you the ins and outs of wholesaling, how to find off-market deals, how to analyze properties, how to set up your business, and how to set up your money. A big part of it is not just knowing how to wholesale, it is setting up your business correctly. So we have experts such as Jose Ramirez from Advanced Tax Advisor, Kevin Thatcher from Title Company. We really give you the A to Z, beginning and the end of wholesaling. So if you want to know more and want to make your real estate investing simple, if this bootcamp wasn't enough, and if this webinar wasn't enough and it was just a taste and you're ready to dive in, for a full 2 days with Anish, Harry, and our other mentors, definitely come to that boot camp. And even if you've been to one in the past, I still recommend.
I'm just going to add to that because I know some of you guys have been to a boot camp. Go ahead and put in the chat and let me know, if you want to share, was it good? Was it not? Obviously, I'm hoping it's good if you're actually watching us today. So it might be a little swayed on that bias, is number one. Number two is I give you 100% money back guarantee. So it is online. So there's no reason you're not driving anywhere. It's all day, Saturday, Sunday, and it's not an upsell to our coaching program. So I don't want you to think like I've been to a boot camp with a national program. I've been to them myself. I know Harry's been to them. After going 3 full days, you feel like Sunday is like a car dealership. Like, what's it going to take to get you in this car? I'm not going to do any of that. It's going to be real information. And what I'm also willing to do is if you hang out all day Saturday and Sunday and you say, listen, Anish, this thing really stunk. That's the words I'll use. I'll just give you your money back. No questions asked. So it's 100% money back guarantee for me. You just got to hang out for the full 2 days and make sure that you spend the time with us. We try to keep it small on purpose. So it feels like a classroom. Your cameras will be on, it'll be interactive exercises. As Alexa Marie was talking about, we'll have some of our experts besides our mentors, Kevin Thatcher with Independence Title, talking about double closings, assignment of contracts. Jose Ramirez talking about how to get your company set up. Carl Shealy, we're going to actually evaluate some properties. And the owner of Rehafax, Francisco Mago, is going to actually show you some of the software we use. So it is going to be a 2-day intensive. It's the first one of the year. My whole point is, what have you been waiting for? I know everyone's got those New Year's resolutions. I'm going to do this. I was going to be in real estate. This is the time. So if you do have any specific questions about the 2-day quick start, just email our staff, and we could always do a quick call too. So
definitely. Yeah. And one more thing that I'd like to mention is you're right, Anish. I've been in those national programs as well. And sometimes it can feel like it is an upsell, but a lot of people with the knowledge that they get from the boot camp are able to close their own deals from there. Maybe they need help with finding a cash buyer, and that's also something that we can help with as well. So we definitely are here to support you even after the boot camp. So it's not just a one-time thing and we'll never remember you. So it's really integrating yourself more into our network and connecting with our mentors and these experts. So I hope you are able to attend if you haven't already, and if you have and you want a refresher, that is definitely awesome. So I remember I mentioned that members get a special discount to our boot camp. So if you'd like to know more about our membership, it'll be 12 months, $295. You get access to all of our regular meetings are included. Plus you get discounts to our special seminars like our quick start and other educational services that we'll be providing. And the kicker is you get the full national RIA member benefits package, which gives you deals and discounts to places like Home Depot, Office Depot. This is great for anybody who's running a small business, whether or not that is involved in real estate or not, because you're getting deals and discounts to places that are so far reaching. Like you can use Home Depot just even for your personal life. And often once you really take advantage of these deals and discounts, the membership pays for itself. And then last but not least, our mentor program, we did mention that. If you would like to know more about that, if you go to the boot camp and you feel like you're ready, or if you feel like you're ready right now to jump into a mentor program, that's going to be like a 6 or 12 months commitment and one-on-one coaching, you are able to do so. If you want more information, you can book a discovery call. You can call 754-216-0202 to talk to Alexa here, and she can set you up with a 1-hour consultation with Anish to talk more about that.
Or you could actually, just so you guys know, if you go to BPM RIA, you can just click on it. It automatically goes into Alexa's calendar, just in case you don't want to hear her voice. You say, hey, look, let me just go ahead and book this. Go for it, guys. We've actually changed our website. Some of you guys have been following us for some time. We were formerly called BRIA, Miami-Dade RIA. We are now BPM RIA. And the main reason more than anything is that people always thought we only bought in Broward. And we've been buying all throughout the state. So the pandemic gave us a chance to rebrand our name. So you're probably, if you haven't checked out our new website, you're going to start seeing some different changes, and hopefully it's a lot cleaner and easier to read too. So
yeah, we're everything that you already knew about BRIA. We've just added more things, and I joke with some of my friends that we're BRIA and MD RIA on steroids. We're offering bigger, better, more things, more excitement, changes, adaptations because of the pandemic that we've seen to be very beneficial for everybody.
yeah,
And I think
the cool thing is,
I think Anish didn't mention also we'll be having other in-person meetings, impromptu meetings, where they'll be sporadically located and pop-up kind of things that you'll have some advance notice of, where you can also network and bend the ear of some of the mentors and get some other advice, or just relax and unwind and have fun.
yep, absolutely. So, all right, let's kind of get into this today, right? So real estate made simple is our basis for today. So how many of you guys, just out of curiosity, are realtors? You know, so go ahead, I'm going to put a quick poll up there if you're a realtor, because I'm kind of curious. My background in general is I'm a licensed real estate agent. I have a degree in finance. In case you guys, some of you guys might be new to me or Harry. I've been in real estate for 20 plus years. I've done a national program, made a bunch of money, lost a bunch of money, and rebuilt myself. So Harry, you want to give a quick intro on what your background is?
Sure. My name is Harry Diamond. I am now a current mentor for the group. But I started about 9 years ago with the organization. My wife and I, if I say we, I'm referring to Victoria and myself. We started a nationwide program, went to all the meetings, learned a little bit about a lot of things. One thing that is common among all national programs is they say go to your local RIAs, Real Estate Investment Associations. And we went to pretty much all of them, and we found a very safe and welcoming environment in then at that time BREA, Broward Real Estate Investment Association. People were like-minded. Everyone wanted to help everyone succeed. It was a place that we felt very, very comfortable. So we've followed them since. Been to a lot of meetings. Our philosophy was we went to every meeting in the first couple of years. The idea was to, even if we learned just one thing, the meeting was worth it. And clearly history has shown that we've learned quite a bit of things and have shared quite a bit of things with others and new investors and helped others become successful. This is a fun place to be, a fun place to work and enjoy, and develop the time freedom to be able to work from home and not drive in traffic other than for the monthly meetings. When Anish mentioned earlier traffic, I was like, what traffic? But I've learned to hit the road when it's not rush hour. It's been really exciting to learn and meet all these people to help me advance my business. And it's a lot of fun to share and watch other people take this advice and this information and grow their business and make a difference in their lives and their families. And we're just really happy to rebrand and offer something bigger, better, stronger. Sounds almost like the $6 million man, but I'm dating myself.
So let's kind of, I put up the poll. So more than half of you are real estate agents. And so, the question is like that we always get, especially newbies, do I need a real estate license to become a wholesaler or a rehab or an investor? And the answer is no. Since I know a lot of you guys are licensed agents, what I can tell you is just because you go to real estate school, it doesn't teach you anything about investing. You pass the test, they don't even teach you how to fill out contracts. I know a lot of people, when they first start, they're thinking, let me get my license first, and then I'll become an investor. And I kind of joke about it is like, do you want to be an investor or a realtor? Two different careers. It's kind of, in my world, is saying, I want to be a doctor and a dentist. Well, which one do you want to be? And that's one of the things that we go out there and we want to be able to, do deals. I think realtors, you guys work way too hard. Go ahead and put in the chat if you love being a realtor or not. I'm always just kind of curious. For me, it's just, I think it's literally tripping over dollars to pick up pennies is what I've seen. So for all my realtors out there, I'm just kind of curious to see what you guys think as a realtor, how business has been going. The other thing is, if you're a realtor, you may be working with investors like Harry and I. The common thing I always get is that, investors that are there, all they do is lowball my offers. How many people have gotten that if you're a realtor? They just lowball and that's all they care about. So go ahead and put it in the chat. Today's supposed to be interactive. I do see some questions already in there, and we'll get to your questions shortly too. So Harry, you want to talk about what actually is a wholesaler? Because I know all my YouTube University guys, I just want to wholesale.
Well, first I want to add on to what you said about realtors. We're not asking you to abandon you being a realtor. We're just asking you to open your minds to investing. Obviously, that's why you're here. There are advantages to both, and combining them just makes you an extra strong powerhouse in the market. So welcome to this call. Okay, as far as this webinar, whatever this thing's called, I'm old fashioned. So a wholesaler is basically selling a property for less than what it's worth. So we buy it at a discount and we sell it at a discount. So this way, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to add, so you buy low and you sell low,
Yes.
Meaning there has to be enough room for another investor to make money.
Whether it's a contractor to flip it or buy and hold, leave a great cap rate. Yes, usually the money is made in the buying. So we have a track record of buying at really, really good prices, not lowballing, but actually defendable numbers that we can show in detail why we're coming up with these numbers. And the banks have been working with us for many, many years on this and have never had a problem. So if people are buying high, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And that's what we're going to be part of what we're going to be showing you.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is when, everyone wants to get into wholesaling. I know that we usually hear the no money, no credit, no risk. Okay, no risk, correct. No credit, correct. The no money is not correct, meaning you still need to put a deposit down on a property. So one of the questions I always ask is, especially if you were putting a deposit and you're paying cash on it, what's a fair number on a deposit? Go ahead and put it in chat. So again, guys, today's supposed to be interactive. Harry and I could chat all day about anything you guys want, but what would you put down as a deposit? I'm always kind of curious to what to say.
5,000.
Okay.
We know who the investor is. Okay.
Yeah.
10%. Ouch. Okay.
Yeah, Jan. All right. 10%, right? 10K. So the first thing is, right, I know it sounds very basic. If you first of all, you do need to put a deposit down. And the numbers I got are good. I kind of joke about it, when I watch some of these YouTube things and they put a deposit down for $10. Yes, that is true. You can put a deposit down for $10 and it will go under contract. My question is, how serious will the homeowner think of you? Right? Hey, Harry, I'm going to buy your house for $250. Here's my $10 deposit. I'm a cash buyer. How do you feel about that?
Not very good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to put a zero, man. I mean, $100.
Not very
right?
good.
$100 bill right there and we're good, right?
1,000 is usually a very comfortable number, and it only really comes into play as a problem if you're doing 30 or 40 deals and putting $30,000 or $40,000 down when you really could use that to buy properties. But that's another strategy we'll teach you later.
Yeah. So I mean, the $1,000 is what we normally put down. I would say as a minimum $500, right? So a couple of questions. I kind of laugh because I've had this, and they'll put $1,000 down on their contract, right? And then they'll say, "Do I really need to put the $1,000 down?" Yes. If the more you put down, the stronger your contract, right? I saw some people put 10% down. If you got the money, yeah, of course, they're going to think you're more serious. 5,000, 10,000. Again, this is when we're buying the property. When we're selling it to somebody else, you're correct. From our buyers, we get $5,000 or $10,000 down. So it just depends on which hat you're wearing. Are you the buyer or are you the seller? We have two rules of thumbs on how it works. If you're the buyer, right, you're going to have a different attitude. You want to put as little as possible down. One of the things that you do want to use is a Florida FAR bar as is contract. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I know we have a lot of realtors on it. Ask your realtor friend. If you've done these national programs that Harry and I have done in the past, the contract I remember was a purchase contract that was 4 pages. Yes, those contracts do work. But the problem here in South Florida is what? Everyone's got what? A realtor friend, a lawyer friend, a title company friend. They're going to go ahead and take a look at those contracts. And they're going to say, listen, put it on Florida FAR bar as is. Those 4-page, 5-page contracts, again, they're valid. They're usually very one-sided for the buyer. And what they really don't do is they don't tell you all the things that can go wrong. So that 12 page is actually approved by the Florida FAR Bar, Association of Realtors, and the Florida Bar. And that's what's standard in our industry. So I do like that people were saying 500, 1,000, 10%. If you have the money, that's fantastic. The more money you put down, the stronger it is. One of the questions I have is, so inspection periods. What would you put down if you're talking to a seller? It's a regular deal. You agree on the price. What are you putting down for inspection periods? What's a good number? Go ahead and put it in the chat. What would you put, right? You're buying a house from Harry. 15 days, within a week.
And if they're buying from me.
5 to 7. Hi, Bregla. 10 days, Maryland or new student. Okay. I mean, I like the numbers, right? So we're the buyer, Harry, not as the seller. So as the buyer, I see Sandra put 30 days. I wish you could get 30 days. That's not really the number. That's realistic, is what I'm going to tell you. If you leave it blank, it's going to be 15 days. The more days you have, right, the better it's for you. Why? Why is it better? Go ahead and put it in chat. As long as possible. I agree. Why do you want those inspection days? These guys know.
Yeah,
Right?
got it.
To find a buyer. Right? Those are marketing days for you. If you put 1 day, you only have 1 day to market this. So ideally in our market, if you're talking to a homeowner, 15 days might be a little tough. Realistically for us, 5 to 7 days. That's what we're looking at. We have a 10,000 plus cash buyers list here at BPM Rehab. When we send out those properties, we get things sold in a day. They're literally, some of our buyers, we kind of joke about it, they're actually driving around looking at properties. And when they get one, they're like, hey, how do I get into it? They'll take a look at it. And before you know it, I'll take it, 0-day inspection on the other side. And they're wiring $10,000. But I do like where you guys are talking about. The more days, the better. It makes a big difference for us on getting the deal. And what are some of the reasons why you need inspection days? Are you actually doing an inspection? How many guys are actually doing an inspection? You're going to spend the money. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. I know that was a loaded question. Yeah, we're not actually doing an inspection. This is not a retail deal, right? You're not buying this house to move into. So we're not going to usually do an inspection. Have we done inspections? We have. That's to negotiate with the homeowner, right? They're going to say it's a new roof. We might send somebody out there because we're thinking about rehabbing it. We want to make sure they're not lying, right? I always laugh about South Florida. Hey, Nish, it's got a new roof. And then after the inspection, did I say new roof? What I meant was it needs a new roof. And then we're going to try to get a reduction. So I think the marketing time, I totally agree with you on that portion, where is the more days, the better. The problem is that you don't want it to be, 30 days. They're going to say, why is it taking you so long? It makes no sense. So I think that's some of the things out there. Again, if we're the seller, we're going to have a different hat on. We're going to push 0-day inspection also. So Harry, here's my question. After you get something under contract, right? What are some of the things that you put in there? What happens if they say they only want 4 days? What additional terms can you put in there to sneak a couple more days?
Well, mostly my deals are short sales, but in a wholesale deal, we can always say upon, my goodness, I know there's a bunch of things. What do you?
I like the ones that we like using. I know you use this all the time. Is business days, right? Regularly got that.
Okay,
already.
yeah, that's where I thought you were
Business
going.
days, right? So Saturday and Sunday are not business days. That could be one, right? So I'll give you for the 4-day inspection, but they're going to be business days. Or a 5-day inspection. Now you really have almost 9 days because you got 2 weekends. So that could be number one. Number two is partner approval. Listen, I'm going to go under contract. My partner Harry's out of town in the Bahamas on his yacht. I can't get a hold of him. I have to get partner approval. But I'll give you the 5 days. Right. So have some of you guys, what I'm actually going to find out is, I know a lot of you guys are realtors. I'm actually kind of curious how many deals you may have done in the last 2 years. So I'm throwing a poll on there. So it gives me a good idea of our audience too. So we want to see how many super experienced people we have, how many newbies, and we've all been newbies, so you're at the right spot. So don't feel like, oh my God, I don't know this. And I could see more than half of you guys. Yeah, more than half of you guys are new. So that's pretty interesting. I got a couple of people that have done 8 or more deals in the last 2 months. That's awesome, right? You know, pandemic, I know there's a pandemic. Those guys are not taking it as an excuse not to do closed deals. You know, so it's pretty cool. I'm seeing half of you guys have done deals during the pandemic. That's pretty awesome, right? So it goes right into how much time you're putting into this. You're not letting the circumstances, you know, really get in the way. So that's pretty cool. And then for our newbies, okay, fair enough, right? Like I'm kind of curious on that. And you know, I'm going to put another poll question. Is like, I'm trying to figure out, you know, why or what's really stopping you, right? Like what's really stopping you from doing deals? So, you know, as we're sitting here talking about it, we want to touch those spots. We've all had different excuses. I kind of joke about it that, you know, a couple of years ago, you know, there's an election coming, then it's hurricane season, then it's, you know, it's too competitive, then there's a pandemic. When does it end for you guys, right?
Never.
So I'm always curious to see what's, you know, out there. And you'll start seeing is that we all have the same fears. I don't care, Harry. I know your mom said you're very special. You're not very special. I don't care what they say.
Prove it.
I mean, the point is, like, we always think we're unique, right? I see a lot of you guys, you know, are, you know, not enough knowledge or not enough time. So, you know, this is not a get rich quick thing at all. You have to make the time for it. And it's easy. I know a lot of our students or a lot of even, you know, our members that are doing deals, they have full-time jobs. And that's, you know, that's okay. What are you doing later in the day? Like after work, on the weekends? What intention are you creating? What is your why? Why am I really doing this? Do I want to have, you know, a better life? And I think that always makes a big difference in what's happening too. So I do like my friends that are saying it's too much competition. What I'm going to tell you, a little secret, there's always going to be competition. If you guys were actually at our meeting on Wednesday, I had some numbers out there, and I remember off of Broward County, there was 9,800 people in pre-foreclosure. That is correct, 9,800. Harry, since I know you're a pre-foreclosure expert, you want to talk about what a pre-foreclosure is?
A pre-foreclosure is simply the banks have identified to the courts that they want to foreclose on a property. And there's a process that this state requires. We're a judicial state, and there are a few in the United States, where we have to go through this judicial process to actually finally foreclose on a property. So while the property is in pre-foreclosure, it is an off-market property. And that process could take, well, by law, the banks have a year to close. And now this year they're streamlining it. So we've seen some really fast ones, but on an average about 8 months, 6-8 months for the banks to actually foreclose. We can interrupt that process in various ways. Short sales, obviously the homeowners are trying to do loan modifications or bankruptcies or other things like that. But generally that's what pre-foreclosure is. It's just it's foreclosed when the property actually sells at auction. So in that time between when the property is listed in the courts as they're starting the foreclosure process to this actual sale date, that's pre-foreclosure.
Right. So they've been served, number one, right, with a list pendant. So the government, you know, the bank is saying, hey, lawsuit coming up. I'm going to, you know, we got to figure this out. The other thing that is, you know, people get this confused all the time, is that when they think it's in pre-foreclosure, it's already bank owned. It is not bank owned, right? So the homeowner is still responsible for, quote unquote, the upkeep. anything that happens, right? If it's a roof, AC, God forbid someone gets hurt on your property, you're still responsible. When it's foreclosed, it's bank owned. So I think there's a big distinction between the two. I know back in the day, because we're a bunch of old timers, I hear it now too. It's like, hey, I'm just going to buy a foreclosure. What's your thoughts on foreclosures? And so that means it's bank owned. What's going to happen is they're going to try to sell it on auction. They're going to put some exorbitant number, generally speaking. There's going to be a bunch of newbies that have access to money. I always kind of laugh about it in South Florida. Yeah, I want to be in real estate. It's a foreclosure. It's a good deal. And they'll try to buy it at the auction, and they're competing with everybody else for that price. And they kind of get that FOMO feeling, which is fear of missing out. Like, I really want to get that property. I really want to get that property. And, they're up, they're bidding it up, or the price gets so high and everyone's smart enough not to buy it. And then it'll go to an REO agent, which is real estate owned, and they work for the bank. And then they'll be listed on the MLS, right? So my realtors here, your investors, your newbie investors was like, hey, send me all the foreclosures in South Florida or Broward County or what that number is. And you're going to start seeing the numbers don't make sense, right? So I think that's one of the things that most people, like, I remember when I first started, I was like, oh yeah, foreclosure, it's got to be a good deal. More often than not, it's not a good deal. So I think that's, especially with newbies, at least it's not a good deal in our market. Let me rephrase that. Maybe, I don't know, if you're in Ohio or some of these other smaller markets, I couldn't really speak to what a foreclosure is a good deal in their market or not. In our market, it's not very good more often than not. So.
Anish, can everyone see these results? What is stopping you from your deals?
Yeah, they did see it. Yep.
Okay. Because when Victoria and I started, we had all of these. We didn't think we had enough knowledge. Certainly, we didn't know what real estate was. But we learned over time, and we obviously don't know everything. We thought we didn't have enough time, and we found out we could do this in between what we were doing in our lives. And the biggest draw, we thought too much competition. There is so much competition for on-market properties. I equated to 1,000 fishermen in a barrel full of 3 fish, versus off-market properties, which is reverse. There's 3 fishermen in a barrel full of 1,000 fish. So your competition is much, much less. It's not international. It's more localized. And so we found out that was not a real fear or a real concern. But one of the biggest concerns was us is money. And then when we found out that these guys put up 100% of the money, and all we had to do was follow what they told us to do, and they would take all the risk, it was a no-brainer for us. And that's why we jumped in full with both feet, so to speak, and just kept an open mind. And well, we're now here where we are, and sharing what we've learned with you so that you can be very successful. It's a little bit scary in the beginning because you just don't know. But when you start learning more and more and more, you'll feel more and more comfortable. And I even saw on the poll that there was someone who filled in, I just don't want to make money. Well, in actuality, Victoria said, if we're going to become investors, this was years ago, 10 years ago, we are going to do things differently. We're going to be the company with a heart. We're going to be the ones that care about the homeowner, put the homeowner first, us second. And we've actually helped a lot of homeowners keep their homes, and we didn't make any money whatsoever. But we built a relationship and a level of trust with them. So if they ever do get into this situation again, and statistics do show that a majority of them do have this problem again in the future, they're coming back to us. So it's not all about making money. Yes, money is needed for a lot of things, but that's not our driving focus. So whoever, or if there was 1 or 2 or 3 people who were concerned about thinking that this is a way to take advantage of people, this is the farthest thing from it. And you're going to find out, the more you plug in, the more you hear, And some of you I know have experienced this already, that when you stop focusing on the money and helping people, the benefits are tremendous for everybody involved. Back to you,
Absolutely.
Ed.
Yeah. Crack me up. That's so funny. I think one of the things that, I know some of you guys were at the meeting Wednesday. I'm actually just going to share my screen on RehabFacts. Can you actually see the screen, Harry?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the software we use. We are having a webinar with the owner of RehabFacts coming up. But I want to just, say, growing up in Jersey, I think everything's a scam and everyone lies. So I'm going to kind of show you how many pre-foreclosures there are in Broward County, just to give you an idea. If you look on you might have to move our faces depending on your screen. On the top right-hand corner, 9,784 properties. So hopefully you guys can see that. The second question I'm going to ask you is, and I know if you guys were actually at the meeting on Wednesday, how many are for sale, right? So I know we have a lot of realtors on there. When I say for sale, it has to be with a realtor, right? And we're talking about the MLS. What do you guys think in the chat? I would ask you, is what would you think in the chat? How many are for sale on the market? What would you think? Go ahead and put in the chat what number, and before I click on it. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. So 70%, I see someone told me 70%. It is not. There's 520. So 9,800 properties, only 520 are for sale. And so what this green in here, again, it's not a RehabFacts class, but to give you a good idea, green is active for sale this moment, right? So you call up your best realtor friend, show me all the pre-foreclosures in Broward County. So I'm going to go down and up to 170 are for sale. So I'm going to have to do math real quick. So that says about 350 of the 520 are already under contract. So a lot of you guys already are seeing that situation where you're like, oh my God, there's no deals out there. And this is why. This is the data. You guys are looking in the wrong spot. So 170. I'm going to go back. I always pick Broward County. I know a lot of you guys. I'm going to do all the counties real quick. Let me just go out here. What do you guys think on the number in Palm Beach pre-foreclosures? Let's see. Go ahead, put in the chat. $5,117 in Palm Beach. How many of those are for sale? Let's take a look. Remember, 5,117. Let's say 247. And let's see where the green stops. 82. So you guys in Palm Beach are hurt and you're like, oh my God, there's only 82 pre-foreclosures. What the heck? No deals, right, Harry?
Never.
My friends, Miami-Dade. What do we think of Miami-Dade? I think it's going to be pretty big. There's a lot more people there. 11,112 pre-foreclosures, right? They've been served. Let's go back and see how those 11,000. How many are for sale? Let's see. $640. Right, and out of those, let's just go here. Out of the 11,000, today your realtor friend looked them up, and we have, let's see, when does the green stop? It's gonna be next page. So 286 out of 11,000. I don't know how good you are with math, Harry, but that's probably what, like less than 2%, 1%. Yeah. So the idea is this is to show you opportunity, right? My other favorite leads that we've made a lot of money on are probates, right? Miami-Dade, let's pick probates. I mean, I'm just kind of running through this because, you know, like this is the real data. Forget what you see on, you know, TV and all this other stuff. You guys are looking in the wrong spot. We're looking for these off-market deals. 7,006 probates. And out of the 7,000, let's see how many are for sale. $213. Let's see how many of those are really for sale. 89. 89 is all we got. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity out there. You want to make sure, you know, you're looking in the right spot. I'll just do a quick one in Broward County also, so that you have actually the numbers. Again, this is really just to show you the opportunity. This is why we're excited. I'm not, you know, I know there's a lot of probates. I'm not excited about people passing away. What I'm excited about is there's a lot of deals out there. And out of those 6,000, let me see, out of the 6,000, only 80 are for sale. So what I'm saying is when I said the 80 or 89 for sale, this is if you go to your real estate agent and you say, hey, pull up all the probates. I want to see what's for sale. They're going to pull up only 80 properties. Our question is, what are you doing on the other side of that? You know, Harry, what are your thoughts on probates? Because I know you've done probates.
Generally, I don't like to deal with probates on the marketplace because everyone sees that information. But probates off market are phenomenal because we generally control 90% of the deal. Really, probate is not difficult. It's actually a part of a process. But going after the probates in the court system that identifies new probates is just like going after, for me anyway, my opinion is just like going after the properties that are now listed for sale. There's so many other opportunities off market in that arena as well.
Yeah, and to give you a good idea, you know, us being a chapter of National REIA, I get to meet other REIA owners around the country. Troy, our friend in Denver, has 3 different REIAs in the Denver, I guess, metro area. I don't know what they really call it, but he was just talking about there's only about 10 or 20 foreclosures in their area. So when I give them those numbers, they're like, holy crap, like, wow, it's super easy down where you're at. When I talk about North Carolina, they're like, wow, you have that many, it's super easy. When I talk to my group here, right, oh God, it's so competitive. It's like really frustrating on that portion. So it's just one of those things that you want to make sure that you're at the right place at the right time, you know. And I know one of the things that, you know, that's been really hot right now is virtual wholesaling. So virtual wholesaling, how many people, does someone want to explain, or in the chat, give me a quick, you know, what is virtual wholesaling? If you want to go ahead and, you know, kind of put it in a chat. If you ever heard of it, you have no idea what I'm talking about. What does that really mean? Wholesaling from your jammies, right? Gordon, you're right, remotely in a different market. So what that means, and you're both right on it, wholesaling from your jammies is true. You're not actually going to the property. It's a total different market that you live in. There's a good chance you may never have even been there. So we do have, our members, one of our lead mentors, also Taryn Ward, she does, virtual wholesaling, and she's made a killing on it. I can't remember that little town in Louisiana that she picked. I still don't know. It's some little crazy little town. And she actually got it through a social media lead because she owns the women wholesaling houses. And, they started talking about that area. And she's like, wow, the prices are really kind of crazy. And then she had to go ahead and find a power team. So in your power team for wholesaling, what do you guys need, whether it's local or virtual? Who do you need on your team? What would be the components that you would think you would need on wholesaling, whether it's virtually or local? What partners? Go ahead and put in the chat. I'm just kind of curious. Contractors, lenders, yeah. Attorney, inspector, buyers, title agents, an accountant, okay, on your power team, yeah, after you make your money, or before you make your money to make sure you're paying the least amount. Fax and BPay, cash buyers. So yes to all that, right? So it's easier when it's in your backyard. Ideally, you actually know the areas. If you live in, Sunrise, it's easy to go drive to the areas. You could still, have your local agents to help you with comps. If you get Fax, you could figure all that stuff out. But if you pick some town that's outside, you still need software, to help evaluate those properties. So we love Fax. It's in, I think, 5 states now. I know it's in Florida, Georgia, Maryland, New Jersey, and California. So if you have Fax and you're looking at virtual wholesale, in those states, we have that data. If you don't, have that data, or you're looking at a different state, there are other companies like PropStream, REI Pro that are national. So the first step is you need software. The second step is you need boots on the ground. And when I say boots on the ground, you need someone to actually walk that property or at least take photos out there. There are companies out there, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of that company, but there are companies out there for a fee, anywhere from $75 to $150. They'll take pictures for you. So you could go out there. You do need a title company or an attorney, depending on what kind of state it is, right? So if it's traditional or not, you're going to need that end of it. Of course, you're going to need money. You're going to need cash buyers also. I know Taryn's been crushing it in that little town. And the funny part was her response rate on mailers are crazy. I was like, whoa, like when I talk about mailers, that's saying, hey, I'm going to buy your house, whether it's a postcard or letters, the national response rate is less than 2%. She was closer to 5 or 7% in those little towns. The deals that I know she rehabbed a house there, but her wholesale numbers were actually not as good as ours. What do you think what do you think we're making on our wholesale deals here? Like, that's a question for you guys. Like, what's a fair number if you're going to wholesale a house that you think you'd be happy with? So go ahead and put it in there. 35,000, 55,000.
Helton, you know what's going on.
And I'm talking about profit, guys. Seriously, like, okay, 50 on a wholesale deal, do nothing to the house. And you guys think 50 is fair. I get it's fair, so maybe I'm not really asking the right question. I would love to make 50. And actually, we actually do. So we've been averaging with our REIA over the years about 25,000 or so. Since COVID, it's been about 35,000. The industry average, right? If you have other investor friends and they're in different towns, the industry average is 3,000 to 5,000, right? So like, that's really where you're at. The reason our numbers are higher, we're going direct, number one, so if it's a short sale or pre-foreclosure, we're negotiating with the bank better. It doesn't have to be a pre-foreclosure. We had a past student, if you're at the meeting, she made $32,000 on a house on a regular deal assignment. She got it under contract at the end of December and sold it in January. So I think that's always important, that the numbers are out there. My point is, my first wholesale deal, I still laugh about it. Regular deal, I put $500 down and I made $2,000. I was excited. I mean, that's like, I made 4 times my money and it worked. and wasn't closing on it. So, you know, a lot of times you don't know what your biggest deal may be or may not be. And that's one of the things that, you know, don't get caught up on it. Just keep doing deals. And some of the deals that you think you make the most money, you might make a little less. The deals that you think like, oh, I can't believe anyone would ever buy that. You know, that 2-1, that's 700 square feet with a manual sunroof, meaning there's a hole in the ceiling, and, you know, there's squatters. You know, we've made over $20,000-$30,000. And I'm thinking, wow, people are killing themselves on that. So I think it's always important to, you know, with wholesaling, there's really no risk on that end of it. Harry, what are some of the things that you see that newbies, right, that what do they run into, like, or the pitfalls in wholesaling that you see, that why it doesn't work for them? Or
first thing is they try to do it alone. We found out that we, as you've already heard, we need a team. We need a good place to get good information, and have access to information that we can act upon. So not being alone is the first thing. Wholesaling, certainly money was always an issue. And we found out that there is a ton of money if you know where to look. And that's why we have this organization here, where we have a full access to all of this information, all these people. What more were you referring to, Anish?
well, I mean, so some of the things that I've seen, right, is, and those are all valid, is that first of all, they don't have the right software or no software, right? So the example I use is your next door neighbor, right? Let's say I'm an accountant, get a corporate job, but now I want to buy houses and this is my passion. And I'm telling, you know, my neighbors, hey, I'm a cash buyer and all that other good stuff. And they said, hey, Nish, I know you said you're a cash buyer. What are you going to offer me? Right.
Yeah, the people are looking in the wrong places. And that's,
like, I mean, you know, my favorite, right? But when I hear newbies, they're saying, so I ask them what software, they're like, I'm using Realtor.com, or my favorite, you know, Zillow, the Zestimate. Or, you know, I'm not picking on the realtors, again, I'm a licensed agent. So is that, hey, I'm going to ask my realtor. So there's a lot of experienced realtors that I've known for, you know, God, they've been in the industry for 20, 30 years. They're not investors. So they're going to give you the retail stuff of what they see. They're not going to show you the comps that may, you know, affect your deal. They're not understanding, you know, cost, right? So I think that's the other one, is usually the houses we're buying, they're not in perfect, you know, condition. And what, you know, how do you evaluate those costs? You know, like I was laughing because I had a wholesaler. He's like, hey, this is a great deal in this. You could buy it for 200,000. It only needs 15,000 in repairs. And then I see the list of, I'm okay, what's the list of repairs? It needs a roof, kitchen, bathrooms, and electrical. Right? So those numbers are way off. You want to make sure the numbers make sense. So you have to know what it's going to cost. And they think they do, right? On that end of it. I'm just going to guess, and, you know, I'm going to use some, I don't know, something I got online, and I'm just going to kind of figure that out and hope for the best. That's number two, right? Number three, they're afraid. This is still my favorite, was that they're just afraid to get it under contract. I remember, God, it's crazy. I'm thinking about how many properties I looked at, but I was so scared. As a realtor, I had no problem writing a contract. Done a million contracts. As a mortgage guy, I've seen a million contracts. Done hundreds of millions of dollars of deals as a realtor and a mortgage guy. That first contract that I was buying in one of my company names, I mean, you would have thought, you know, it was like, I don't even know how to describe the fear of actually filling out a contract as an investor. What about your thoughts? Do you remember that feeling the first time when it's in your own company name and it's your own deposit? Like, don't tell me I'm alone on the anxiety.
Should I tell them my quick 2-minute story about that?
Yeah, go for it.
When my wife and I started with the organization, this was in the very beginning. We had to do 3 deals with them. Obviously, that doesn't exist anymore. And my wife and I decided that we were going to put 12 deals through this organization, split the profits, everything like that. And we did, and we learned a lot. So it was worthwhile for us. But Anish kept pushing me away, Go do it yourself. Go make 100% of the profits. He goes, why aren't you doing this? And I said, I'm scared. And I put 12 deals on the boards, made already at that point, I don't know, $500,000 net or something in profits. And I was terrified to do this on my own. He goes, no, he goes, don't worry, we'll still be here. We'll help you. Just go do it on your own. And after I did that and subsequent deals, what did you say in this? It was the most costly what?
Yeah, the most costly conversation I've ever had in my life. It cost me a lot of money. But the idea is like we all have that fear. So like I know as newbies, you're not sure. And then the other thing that I always see, I call it the black hole, the research hole, right? How many of you guys got to put in chat, if you be honest with me, is don't make me be the only person of the analysis paralysis situation. Otherwise I'm going to feel like a total loner. I mean, it consumed me of analysis paralysis. It literally changed, like I was like, I don't know, I'm too busy. Let me check out this. And by the time I was ready, guess what happened? Someone else like Harry already got it under contract. The key is like with, especially with wholesaling is that you can't really lose money if you do it right. Make sure there's inspection days. Make sure you put a deposit down. It's going to get you involved. I don't care how much research, how many webinars you do, until you actually go out there, get something under contract, and you'll figure it out. And what I mean is that, I remember, one of the things for me as a wholesaler too, or as an investor, I always didn't want to offer a lower number. Like I never asked them why they wanted to sell. Sometimes they just want to move away. Sometimes they need money for the probate. Sometimes they're hoarders. Someone passed away. They don't want their neighbors to know, right? My real estate agent friends, including me, when I was a realtor full-time, hey, Harry, you got to fix this. You got to paint this. You didn't want your neighbors to know. You've been living in the house for 20 or 30 years and now you're selling the house. So these are the things that I see a lot of mistakes in the beginning. And the only way you're going to get through it is to go out there and get stuff under contract. If you're not talking to sellers, right? Like that's the other big thing. You have to, like if you want a deal, you got to talk to sellers. I don't care if it's a for sale by owner. I'm going to tell you up front, they're not the most motivated. But at least they want to sell their house. You're going to start learning to ask the right questions. And the other big thing for me was about listening. I can't tell you how many times in the beginning I didn't listen to the homeowner. I was like, I'm just going to tell them this and that, and blah, 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 like it was like I vomited some information, and then I took a deep breath, and they're just like staring at me. It's like, so those are some of the pitfalls I've seen, for newbies. It's happened to every one of us of having that fear. So that's and is there anything else that you want to add to, on wholesaling, on, some of the pitfalls, or how about let's go to the other side. What do you see, not just wholesalers, real estate investors? What common things have you seen or traits? Are they tall? Like what have you seen that you would I don't know.
You're asking me about what sellers look like. what
Not
buyers
sellers,
look like.
What are successful investors do? What are some common traits that successful real estate investors have? I don't care if it's wholesaling, rehabbing, any of that.
Constantly plugging in, constantly learning. Expanding what their knowledge on everything. The industry changes. The basics don't change, but times change, procedures change. So like I said in the beginning, when Victoria and I went to meetings, it was even if we learned just one thing. So staying plugged in, getting on these webinars. All investors do the exact same thing. If constantly learning. I know one investor does 15 houses a month, and he's still learning constantly and expanding and growing to make his organization bigger, better, easier. The more you know, and it's not like you have to learn this like college 4 years and then go earn an income. Here we're earning as we're learning, and because you can never learn everything, and by the time you learn it, it's changed. So the basics are here. Keep plugging in, and that's
Yeah.
what I see as the common
Yeah.
factor with all good investors.
I think that also, like, follow up, right? They're always, on top of it. They don't say, hey, I tried this once and it didn't work. Little secret, you're going to get a lot of no's. It's just, I always say no for now.
Right.
It's okay, right? And there's always going to be a lot of competition. These are big numbers. It's always been competing. We're not, Elon Musk coming up with a new way to buy houses. There's really no secret.
Following up is key.
There's additional
following up until they say yes.
The other thing is that I've noticed is, if you're working full time, I get it, right? You're the accountant or whatever your job is, but the idea is not to be a closet investor. Let people know what you're up to. What you're going to find out, you probably have a pretty big circle. You might not think that. Look through your phone. You're going to realize that, hey, I got a lot of phone numbers. The second end of it is, if you're like my group of people, there's people with a ton of issues. They're going through a divorce. There might be in pre-foreclosure. So those are good, easy leads that you could have, especially if you have a power team. I know we're talking about, part of wholesaling if you need buyers. One of the things that you're going to realize is I'm a cash buyer. So if you get something under contract, give us a call. We do have a partnership program. We might buy it from you or we might sell it on our list. So we take care of that. We are willing to also, if we really do the deal with you, we might put up the money for transactional, money for the day at a cost. So there's two parts that, a lot of newbies already have issues, and we're already fixing that for you. So I think that's pretty important also, is that you want to have these traits that are going to make a big difference for you. And also about the learning. So, I have two of my own mentors, and I'm also in a mastermind. My idea is, like in general, I don't want to be with anyone that's not learning. The market's constantly changing, right? Even like whether it's these Zoom webinars. One of the things I'm doing now is I'm actually having Zoom meetings with sellers, right? So it's another way to get to them. So if they're home, or hey, I'm a little bit busy, I'm waiting for my wife to come home from work. Well, a lot of our buyers, right, or sellers, I should say, are getting used to technology. So they are learning how to use this. Not everyone. Obviously, we have a lot of sellers that they don't know what the internet is. They don't understand text. We are using REI Black Book for automation. Even internally, even within our mentors, we're constantly upgrading on technology. Hey, try this out. So it's important to constantly be growing when you're doing this. I know there's a bunch of questions, so I'm going to kind of hit some questions. Harry, I'll give you this one first. Good morning. I want to know, what advice do you have for new investors, especially new wholesalers, in the current housing market? It seems intimidating.
All right. It can be intimidating, or it appears to be, and that's generally because that you're not focused. And to gather information, to learn and grow and stay micro-focused so you have a direction and know where to look. That's the biggest thing. But the market right now is probably, in the last 10 years, this is probably the best I've seen it. And I'm really excited for this year. This year is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to add to that too, because, if you make X amount of money, how's it going to change your life? So I'm actually going to put a quick poll, because I'm just kind of curious to see how much extra money do you need to live the life that you want. And, when you're talking about what's intimidating, like, I'm not sure how old this person is that asked that question. So you're going to laugh, and I'm going to show you my full age by this, was about 3 weeks ago, I opened up an Instagram account. That was intimidating. I could flip houses, I could do all this other stuff, but I was like, oh man, that's pretty intimidating stuff, right? It's all relative, right? You know, it might be intimidating to go to a gym. Those are all conversations. A lot of times you'll hear me, you know, even whether you're in our coaching program or not, that's just a bunch of noise. You know, thanks for sharing that noise. I'm good. So Dolly asks, how can I legally wholesale while being an agent? How do I keep my broker at bay? So let's talk about it. I know that a lot of you guys are agents. So I am actually at Charles Rutenberg Realty. Cindy's been around for 18 plus years. We have 1,000 plus agents. A lot of our the investors have their license there. A lot of agents or brokers, I should say, they don't want you to become investors. Why do you think? Right? If you're actually out there flipping houses, buying properties, how much are you doing as a traditional realtor? Realtors work way too hard. I mean, you know, I kind of joke about it, Harry. You probably have heard this. If you're not a realtor, right? My non-realtor friends, when I was licensed, would always say, "Oh, it's so easy. You just drive a bunch of people around, right? You sign it. They sign something and you get a big commission." I can tell you right now, and if anyone really wants to, chime in on the chat, you know, how hard or how easy is it to be a realtor? It's not easy. So what I would tell you, Dolly, if your broker is not thrilled that you're an agent and you're an investor, I would probably think about moving my license to somewhere else that is more investor friendly. Well, the other thing is, as an agent, make sure you disclose that you're an agent when you're buying properties. Most homeowners don't care. We're not trying to list their properties, all the above, but you do for compliance. You know, you want to actually become a realtor. So, I mean, you do want to disclose that you're a real estate agent. So, Diana says, how do we get the Florida FAR bar from you? So if you're a licensed real estate agent, it's easy, you already have access to it. If you're not, I'm going to put it in the chat. It is AltaStar. So www.altastar.com. So what they have is a licensing agreement. You pay a flat fee. I believe it's anywhere from $130 or $140 a year, and you'll have access to all the contracts and addendums. So that's what you want to go ahead and use. Also with Refax, you know, down the road when he does his workshop, he has a full follow-up system where you can actually upload contracts. If you're a licensed agent, you just give them your license number. If you're not, you give them your licensing agreement that you got from AltaStar. So you want to make sure you have access to those contracts. Another tidbit is that, you know, make sure you go through a contract. So that's one of the things out there. So I know some people said they can't see the chat. It's actually AltaStar, www.altastar.com. You could also email us and we'll send you a quick link for that too. So. Yep, and Diana, yep, the Florida FAR bar, I just kind of answered that for you. And Andrea, yep, AltaStar, that is correct. I know Andrea is also asking about, does it show apartment complexes? Refax actually does show apartment complexes, smaller than 10 units and above 10 units. You do have that information. It doesn't do comparables in that way because it's all about cash flow. So it's a little bit different. So you can't compare houses or condos together, but it does give you that information, people in pre-foreclosure and foreclosures also. So I think that's important too. Let's see, Tatiana, I have my letters for probates. Let's see, can you see in the rep address on the Refax too, or I am not better? That's more, I know Tatiana is one of our students, but yes, you could actually see the personal rep information on Refax too. Gordon's asking, do you recommend tax delinquent leads as a source for newbies? So yes and no. Let's kind of talk about that. So if you're trying to buy tax deeds here in South Florida, there's 5 major companies that buy tax deeds. Good luck, you're not going to win on it. We do have some of our members that are buying tax deeds, but they're picking, these small towns in like the Panhandle, like towns I've never heard of. And they're actually, sometimes they're in-person tax deeds. It is, so they're driving to the auction 7, 8 hours, getting there. They're doing their research on the properties too. So it is possible. It's a whole different strategy. What you can use REFAX for when you're looking at for motivated sellers is, are they behind on their taxes? Right? It's a non-owner occupied, or it's an owner occupied, and they haven't paid their taxes in 2 or 3 years. They should be motivated. And it's called list stacking too, is where you could actually add more filters on REFAX. Hey, they're behind on their payments, they're in pre-foreclosure, they're non-owner occupied, and they're behind on their taxes for 3 years. There should be multiple modes of motivation. The problem, not problem, but when you list stack is you're gonna have less leads. So I'm not against it. It is a good way to actually get that information also. Is, tax liens are good. Again, if they don't pay their taxes, eventually they could lose their house in a tax deed sale. So that's something different. I think we're actually, this year, we're gonna have a national speaker talk about tax deeds and how to buy them. See, Andrea, do you have recommendations for who to reach out to about syndications? So syndications, that's a little bit, you probably want to email me directly on that. We actually have set up a fund. So if you're looking to invest in real estate and you want a flat interest rate, collateralized with real estate, we have that. If you have no idea what syndication means, it's a group of people that get into a project and they're trying to buy apartment buildings. We will have some more advanced workshops talking about syndications this year. But Andrea, if you have specific questions about that, email me. If you're looking to invest, that'll help out there too. So let's see. Fernando's asking, what would you recommend if I wanted to begin working with your team? Should I attend a quick start or another venue? So obviously I'm very biased, right? Let's be, I was gonna laugh at, do you think I should work with you or should I work with someone else? I think the quick start is a good way to get in versus, our coaching program. Some people are ready to jump in our coaching program. They said, look, I've been watching you. Yesterday, these 2 students, I was laughing. They said, I've been stalking you for 1.5 years. And we finally pulled the trigger. And maybe that's where you're at. You've been watching us for a while. You've been to in-person events. You watched our YouTube videos. You know my whole story. You could probably recite my story. You probably looked up my bankruptcy, February 10th, 2010. If you want to check that out. So you might be ready to join into our coaching program where we put up 100% of the money for the deals. Or, you know what, you say, let me try you guys out. It's a big investment. Let me try out for the weekend. For the $595, I give you your money back guarantee. What I am going to do, because it is a new year, our team, I have both Alexas on it. I feel kind of generous today. I know we already have a boot camp winner or a quick start winner. I'm going to take $50 off on their quick start if you guys sign up today. The girls, Alexa, I know you guys are, if you could put in the chat, or maybe we'll send you guys an email afterwards. If you want to do the quick start, I'll give you $50 off. So Fernando, hopefully that'll help you make your decision. It's a win-win either way when it comes to that.
And if, regarding that question, where should they start? Victoria and I, we did a nationwide program, dropped 50 grand. And then when we really found the local Bria at the time, it was the quick start program, the boot camp, that really helped us understand everything locally to get us really off the ground. Because even though we spent $50,000 on the HOA program, we did not have enough information to pull a trigger, to close a deal, anything. It was basically a waste of money in the nationwide programs. Back then, the boot camp, I think, was $1,000 or $1,400. And that was something that was probably the best money we ever spent. So I'm a little bit prejudiced as well, but from experience.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's not an upsell, right? Like, with our students, they automatically get a seat. So it's real information. As I said, we're going to go really in depth with our marketing, Reafax, all the above. So again, it's a good event. We're biased. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. You can read our reviews when it comes to that. I know, Diana, you're asking about a tech class. Unfortunately, we don't have per se a tech class. I don't know how much interest there is, and the problem is it could be a rabbit hole. We do use like technology using Reafax and REI Black Book, so those guys are actually doing workshops. And what I have them doing is this year I have them committed to do more workshops. That way, and both platforms, by the way, if you do sign up, we do get discounts with them, but they have unlimited help, or videos or one-on-ones that can actually help you use their software. I kind of joke about, they're both very smart owners, meaning they know if you don't use the software, what are you going to do? You're not going to use it, right? You're going to cancel it. So I think that's always something that's important too. So Matt, yes, they come out with the updated version of the FAR bar. The new FAR bar was in November. So you do want to use the new contracts. If you have AltaStar, they already have the updated contracts in there too. So let's see. Yep, is there a Facebook group that is run by BPM RIA? We do have our own Facebook group. The girls have put a link in there. Also, Henry, I do see that, I guess you're trying to sign in and buy a ticket and the link is broken. So actually one of our staff members will help you with that, or call our office and we'll manually send you a link so that you can sign up too. So, but yes, Dolly, we do have a Facebook group that actually is a good way to meet members or non-members, other people in the same industry. It's an add-on. A lot of times you could ask questions in there. Either myself, Harry, the other mentors, some of our teammates will help you answer any of those questions in there. That'll make it easy for you. Let's see. I love this, Gordon. Okay, Gordon's asking, what's the minimum reasonable marketing budget to get started? I'm leaning towards direct mail and skip tracing. Is this how I'm supposed to be starting? What do you say, Harry? Harry?
So I was just answering something from a buyer, but
Okay, no problem.
the minimum reasonable marketing
Gordon's
budget,
asking,
is that what you want me
yeah,
to direct
yeah,
on? Okay. No one's going to like what I say, but in the beginning, I followed the leaders to the letter, sent out mailers, did hand wrote everything. Today, we are missing out on a lot of deals. We don't spend one penny in advertising, but my friend who does 15 deals a month, he for 2 years spent $400,000 a year in marketing. Now he doesn't spend any money in marketing either, because now everyone's bringing him leads. But traditionally, to get started, follow the leaders, do what you can, and then when you start getting deals, take a percentage of your profit and roll it back into your marketing campaigns.
yes. And so if you're on a limited budget, right? Like I tell people, there are a couple things that you should do. You need software, right? Reafax, actually, if you get their full version, the profit dialer that I have, they actually include skip tracing in it. So you're gonna need some basic things like, to run a business, like a company name. I know it sounds very basic, a business card. Do you really need a website? Probably not right away if you're on a limited budget. Driving for dollars. I mean, we've gotten a ton of deals. I know when I first started, do you want to kind of talk about driving for dollars, what it means, Harry? So, Harry, you got to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Driving for dollars is a great way to be low budget advertising. You're out there anyway when you're door knocking. Skip tracing is key in calling people, on calling relatives, whatever is necessary to get to the goals. That's mostly what we do today. Door knock, skip trace, call, and driving for dollars.
Yeah. So I think that's, like Gordon, you got to pick, if you're on a limited budget, get software, get some business cards, drive for dollars, and skip trace. Like that's what I would tell people up front. That way you're actually in the game on that portion. I know if you guys are actually, some people are asking about the coaching program. If you go to bpmrea.com, I'm just gonna put it in the chat, and you hit, discovery call, it'll set up an appointment with me, or actually our team, and they'll put you together with my schedule. We can do a quick Zoom. You're gonna have 1,000 questions for me. So, I'd rather have that more of a one-on-one conversation versus even at this moment, because, we are ending our time pretty soon. So anyone that's interested, book a conversation with us and we'll take it from there. So a couple more questions. Let's see if I have my own money. Fernando's asking if I have own money, would that change the type of program I would be placed into? The answer is yes and no. I would say just book a discovery call. So that's going to be something that's a question offline a little bit. How do you recommend the options? How to recommend for the options money? Is it required? I'm not really sure when you say options money. Are you talking about like doing an option contract versus a non-option contract? Or are you talking about what are my options to actually have money? So if it's money and you're in our coaching program, we put up all the money for your deals. What I will tell you, it is hard to raise money if you have no experience. Let's say Harry had his corporate job, he's a doctor and he wants to be in real estate investing. And I said, look, I learned how to do this. Harry, let's set up a company. I'm going to find the deals and you put up all the money. There's a good chance. Look, Harry's even laughing, right? You're going to say what? You want me to take all the, right? What are you going to say on that?
Also, by the way, the discovery calls, when you book call, those are free. So
yeah, absolutely.
Great place to get a lot more information and pinpoint it to your specific need.
But my question to you is, what would you feel if
about that?
Yeah.
No, not unless you have a ton of experience.
No, but we've been friends for 30 years. Come on, man, you put all the right, it's just very difficult when it comes to that. I just think that it's just challenging to get someone else to come in there. What you don't want, and I'm going to speak from experience, is I borrowed money from my parents, family member. When the market crashed, I lost all that money. Not a good feeling. Like, besides feeling like a failure, when the market crashed, now, it's my parents' money and some of the retired money. It doesn't feel good. So you want to make sure you have the right experience before you start raising your money. Where Harry's now at, like, he doesn't need my money. He knows how to raise his own money. He's using self-directed IRAs. He's using different, ways or different strategies to fund his deals. But you got to start somewhere. So I think that's one of the things. And our last question, the software done at, actually ReFX does it. That's the software I showed you. ReFX.com. We do get a discount if you use our BPM discount. If you email me, we can send you a form about what they do. There's no contracts. They do monthly. It's fantastic the way it works. We do have another company that's with our organization, IDI Core. So if you're using different software, if you go to our member benefits, you can get their information, and they charge $1 per skip trace and $1 per skip trace with a minimum $50 order. So if you want to skip trace 5 people, it's still gonna be $50. If it's gonna be 50 people, it's gonna be $50. So that's something that you could get also. I guess we're already out of time. I mean, the time goes by so quick. What are any last thoughts about, what you're feeling about this market and wholesaling, all that other good stuff that, Harry, that you'd want to share?
Well, I still love wholesaling. It's it's probably the best technique or best procedure for minimal exposure and minimal financial risk. So I really love that. And the marketplace right now, I can see us doubling or tripling our numbers this year alone, because of projections of what the marketplace is doing. You see a lot of properties that are all off market. those properties are distressed and need help. Those are not properties that are just gonna go away. Eventually, either they're gonna go for sale or they're gonna be foreclosed upon. So those are the ones we go after. And as you can see, in the Tri-County areas, 15,000. So the numbers are staggering. I wish I could get them all. I really do. It's just, there's not enough time in it, but that's one of the reasons why, you know, having an organization that you can trust of information, so that you can monopolize on the simplest route. I don't want to say easy, but the simplest route to get you to your first deals. I remember in the beginning, I used to ask a lot of questions, and then about 2 months later, I realized I didn't need to ask that. Because it made sense now. But don't hesitate to ask your questions in the beginning, get that knowledge base that you need, and it gets more simple from then on in.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to, you know, I know we're talking a lot about wholesaling. Listen, wholesaling is to generate money quick. If you're looking to build long-term wealth, it's going to be owning properties. I'm just telling you how it is. And you might own a bunch of properties and you say, yeah, this is not for me. Or you're thinking you want to rehab. And I always laugh, yeah, we have a few mentors on our team. Harry and Victoria rehabbed one house and they don't like rehab, right? Like he found out what he really likes. Denise and Lucian, they love rehabbing. You know, for me, I like making money, so I'm not going to say I like doing things creative. But the idea is if you learn how to wholesale or find these off-market properties, you wholesale the properties you don't want to keep, right? So that's number one. Number two is maybe you cherry pick the ones you rehab because you're going to make, you know, ideally you should make way more money on the rehab versus wholesaling. So we're not the wholesale experts being like, that's all you have to do, wholesale, you know, on that portion. It's not what we're telling you. People just ask us, how do I get out here and generate money? I put that quick poll up of how much money do you make a month to impact your life? And I know some of you guys said 10,000 or more. Well, that's one deal, right? I mean, imagine you did a deal a quarter at our 25,000 number, right? That might be the difference of, I don't know, helping out family members, your kids, going to private school, getting out of that job that you can't stand. These are the things that are happening in our market. This is why we're passionate about it. This is why I'm excited about, what's happening to the market. I love all the people that are moving in. I talked about it on Wednesday. Over 250,000 people moved to Florida since the pandemic. And all that means is that they're paying more. So thank you for all the people that moved in, driving prices up. Thank you. You're our buyers. So, without you guys, and that's the way I look at it, right? If you're an investor and you're looking at the wrong spots, you're saying to yourself, oh, I can't believe how high the prices went up. So I think it's just one of those things. I know we have a winner, right, for our 2-day quick start. Ladies, who is the big winner?
So the winner of the 2-day quick start in February is going to be Michelle. I won't say your last name. So DV, you'll know who you are, Michelle DV. Congratulations. We'll be in contact with you. Now, anybody who entered, we had tons of people who entered, more than half the people here entered. You can still get your quick start ticket. I put the link in the chat to get the $50 off. It's going to be for attendees only. So if you go on our quick start website, you won't be able to see that $50 discount because I made a special page just for attendees. So if you miss it and don't get a chance to look at it in this chat, then you're going to get a thank you email for that $50 off price just for you because you attend our event. So stay tuned for that thank you email. It'll be coming out within an hour after this.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you want to call, you could always call our office and we could always take a card over the phone. We're trying to, if you're like me, I'm trying to talk to less people like especially when it comes to banking and all that other good stuff. I just want my stuff and move on. Again, we give you your money back guarantee for the event. I always just think that, you know, the question I always have for people is, how long have you thought about real estate investing? And how long is it taking you to make a step on anything? I'm not talking about our program. I'm not talking, you know, in general. And I think the first step, which is the most important, is you're actually on the webinar. You're actually taking the time out. I know some of you guys are working full time, so maybe you're playing a little hooky, working, you know, and also listening to us. Yeah, we appreciate it. And that's what's going to make a difference for you. And I congratulate you for even taking the time out to, you know, go out there and see what we're talking about too. So thank you guys very much. Again, I think our next event is next week. All the dates feel the same now. So I think it's next Tuesday or Wednesday coming up.
Or next event?
Next
Yes,
Wednesday.
next Wednesday with our REI Black
Well, we
Book.
have an event Thursday actually with REA Black Book. We have so many events in January and February. So the next one is actually in 2 days at the same time, same place, 11 a.m. We are going to put that in the chat again, Alexa, if you don't mind. Go to our upcoming events page and you can register for all of them. And then Zoom will start sending you updates so you don't miss a thing. And then also remember our phone number, 954-800-6961, text BPM RIA, and you get updates about our events 2 days before they happen.
Yeah, and the one thing I do want to add, I forgot to actually mention this, is so, you know, as we're transforming in the world that we live in, I know some of you guys came to our old offices. Our offices, we are 100% virtual. We're almost, if the girls keep pushing me, I'm almost there. We're 100% paperless, not there yet. So, you know, I get my team pushing me. We're adapting to the world, you know, whether the economy, the environment. We're still doing, you know, in-person meetings, and, you know, we're adapting to the new changes of the world out there. So again, thank you guys so much for spending your Tuesday afternoon with us. And I hope to see you guys soon. And if you got specific questions, you know, you can email me, you can set up a discovery call. And again, we're cash buyers too. So thanks, guys. Hope to see you guys soon at our next event. Bye.